Hey guys, welcome back to Carib 21 Network. So today is September the 16th, and today is the big day. Today is when we're going to see the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the most honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, being sworn in as Prime Minister of Jamaica for the fourth time. And that will be held today, 4 o'clock Jamaican time, 5 o'clock if you're in Toronto, if you're in New York, Florida. So we will be bringing it live, and I believe that now is the time. The election is over, and I'm looking forward to seeing the cabinet and to see, in particular, there's certain position that I'm looking out for. I'm looking for Minister of Education because I know education is going to be very critical going forward for this administration. I'm also looking forward to see the tourism minister, see if health minister is going to remain with Christopher Tufton, just to see what this new administration is going to come with. And I'm also interested to see what the opposition is going to come with, who is going to be the opposition spokesperson on education, tourism, and so forth. So that is coming up this evening. But I got a few videos that my inbox is full, like with videos. So I had some videos that someone sent me, and a popular um, podcaster who's known like as someone that writes for the PNP, and someone sent me a video of Andre Stevens that he apparently admit that Dr. Andrew Holness won his seat because people were still going back and forth that the prime minister thief him seat. So to see one of the biggest uh, podcaster on the side of the People's National Party coming out and say no, like him win the seat. So that is something that I want to react to today. So let me press play and see what Andre Stevens had to say.
Andrew did not win him seat. How coincidence?
No, I'm going to tell you though, Miriam. You see, the division that was left to count is a Labour Party stronghold. Is a Labour Party stronghold. So when the Seabright division they come in, he would have automatically win because I saw it always do. At the last division to count, and him normally pick up that amount of vote out of it. Me, I'm going to be one of the persons who will tell you the truth tonight about it.
Andre?
Okay, so yes, so that was Andre Stevens, and it's good to see. I know the thing is, election is over, so we should be able to talk the truth now. And it is ridiculous for people to still think that the prime minister stole that seat. Actually, that constituency was like my area. That is where I grew up. That is, and the last time I saw the prime minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, um, he was a young MP at the time, come and knock on my gate and say, like if you're gonna vote, if you're gonna support me and stuff like that. And where I lived, I used to live right on the border. Like I was the first house, the first PMP house on that street, in Olympic Gardens, the first PMP house on the street, and then there's another house that was on the borderline, and then the Jamaica Labour Party section started there. It was just crazy how this place was divided up, and that was 21 years ago. That was the last time I saw the Prime Minister in person. So that seat, he's been in that seat. I think that's the only place that he's ever run. That was when he was like a young protege, like of Edward Seaga, and he's been in that era ever since. So, like for people to come out now and say that, look, the Andrew thief the seat or whatever, there's just some things that are just so ridiculous. It's not even worth mentioning. So it's good to see Andre admitting to, yes, the prime minister with him that seat from those bucks coming, Seabright Garden, from those bucks coming, you know that most of it is going to him. So it was good to see him admitting that, because one of the things I believe that the election is over now, and we should be able to come together as Jamaicans. Take off your PNP shirt, take off your labor right shirt, and put on your Jamaican shirt. We're Jamaicans now, and whatever happened in Jamaica is going to affect everybody. If the prime minister fail, everybody fail. The Prime Minister succeed, everybody succeed. So I believe that this is the time. Election is over, and we just hope that the Prime Minister, hope that the Jamaica Labour Party does what they said that they were going to do, and that Jamaica, 5 years from now, Jamaica will be better for it. And the People's National Party, they're going to have a role to play also, because one thing I'm happy about is that they won enough seats. The last election, the last cycle, the People's National Party was like a lame duck. They had no power, but now they have some power. They can push back on a lot of things. And as I said, like overall, over the time that I've been covering the election, there's a lot of things that the Jamaica Labour Party, they're doing that I'm against. And I am so happy that the People's National Party, that they have a strong presence in Parliament now, so they can push back on certain things. So I'm happy for that. Even though, like I've said from day one, the Jamaica Labour Party was going to win the election, I am not naive. I know that, look, there are certain things that we don't agree with, and you don't have to agree with everything. And it's good that there's a strong People's National Party now to push back. And one of the things, because even on what happened with this channel, because we have been covering the election for the past couple of months, and because I've been saying that I know that the Prime Minister is going to win, a lot of JLP supporter like kind of like what I'm saying, so they like up the channel. A lot of People's National Party supporter, them say like, oh yeah, B-boy, go SMR, go do this, go do that. And that's all politics. And I keep saying like, look, I'm Jamaican, not PNP, not JLP. I voted PNP, I voted JLP before. So that is just my stand. And I just believe that going forward, that we should have like respectful conversation. And I don't think because the thing is, like, there are people from both sides that I cover stuff on this channel, and people from both sides disagree with me. And I think disagreement is good. Having a civil conversation is good. But when you start going the B-boy, SA mother, this, that, then that is where it's not even worth having a conversation. And as I said, like, everything that I said about the People's National Party from day one, from the past 3-4 months, I've been covering this election, talking about it. Every single thing that I said come to fruition. And it's so interesting because the second video that I want to play is from Nationwide, and someone called Damien called in on Nationwide, and someone sent me this video because the person said every single thing that you said on one of your video, this caller have the same sentiments of why the People's National Party did not win this election. And for me, like, I hope the People's National Party, I hope they'll wake up and listen, because personally, the last time we saw a government, the only time in Jamaica history where we saw one party won 4 straight election was the People's National Party from 1989, when Manley won it, and he handed it over to PJ Patterson, and PJ Patterson won 3 consecutive terms. That was the last time, the only time we have ever seen a political party in Jamaica won 4 straight election. And personally, I don't think it's a good thing for us. It might work in some countries, but I think sometimes in the Caribbean, when a political party is so dominant, sometimes they get complacent, and then it just seems almost like a dictatorship, because they feel like they own the country because they are been in government so long. And then an opposition party being in opposition for so long, what is going to happen is that a lot of people that have experience in government, they're just going to fade out. And then everybody in the opposition party will be just all inexperienced people. So I think that Jamaica, the People's National Party, need to be a strong opposition. They need to put together a team that can win the next election, because I believe that that is how democracy is good, when we have 2 strong parties that we can hold them accountable, and we can make them work for our votes, and that is how democracy works. So this call was from this person calling to Nationwide, Damien, and he expressed the same sentiments that I've been expressing why the People's National Party would lose. And even though they did not listen, I hope that behind closed doors, that the People's National Party, that they're listening to what is going on when they don't take the approach of blaming and saying that the Jamaica Labour Party thieved the election or whatever. They go back to the drawing board and fix what needs to be fixed and come back bigger and stronger and better. So this is the clip from Nationwide.
All right, you had asked the question sometime earlier in the week why the PNP lost the election.
3 reasons why the PNP lost.
All right. One, the JLP's performance in their, well, the 9-year stretch, but more specifically the window between 2020 and 2025. 2, the campaign of the PNP was a turnoff for a lot of people. A lot of noise, a lot of shouting, a lot of personal attacks.
Yes.
But I believe the PNP lost this election from 2020.
2020?
Yes.
Why?
The PNP engaged in an internal election in 2019, a year prior to the calling of the election. I think that is unprecedented if my memory serves me well.
Repeat that for me. Repeat that last sentence. What you said?
The PNP had an internal election in 2019, a challenge to their party president, Dr. Phillips.
Oh, when Bunting challenged Phillips.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I don't recall if that has ever happened so close to an election.
Oh.
No, that decimated the party and created a division.
Okay, let me stop it there. So that was the point. I've made that point on numerous occasions. And I actually go back to 2016, not even 2020, like 2016 or even before, because I said that, look, once PJ Patterson stepped down and Portia was up next, that is where every single thing in the People's National Party fell apart. And as I said, like I was in a political circle where I got to know a lot of these people. I knew Portia Simpson personally. I knew Edward Seaga personally. And I remember, I think it was sometime around 2016, when one of her delegates, she went out there and she was protesting by herself. Portia Simpson, one of Portia Simpson delegates, one of our top person, protesting by herself, saying that, look, they want to overthrow Portia out of the People's National Party. And I remember it was a big thing. I think it was 2016. I can't, or a little bit before that, but I remember vividly that there was some uproar when Portia Simpson was there. So it was before the challenge with Peter Phillips, before Bunting challenged Peter Phillips. From PJ Patterson was the only prime minister in that 2018 year period that enjoyed a success where nobody was trying to take him out of his position. But as soon as Portia was up next, people did not think that Portia Simpson should have been prime minister. Even before PJ Patterson retired, they were questioning her education, they were questioning her capability, and she was the most popular People's National Party politician at the time, even over the prime minister, PJ Patterson himself. Portia Simpson was very popular. So it actually started from then. So the party started crumbling from that time. And that is what I've been saying. So it's interesting that someone else is coming up to put it back, to say that, look, they lost the election from 2020. So I'm going to let it play.
Vision, we now call one group the Riser.
Uh-huh.
And it was clear that there was an attempt to ensure that Dr. Phillips did not perform well in the election.
Mm-hmm.
The narrative was that he can't win an election, and he needed to step aside.
Yes.
If you notice, the seats that were lost by the PFP, the 15 seats, because they went into that election with 29 seats, the 15 seats that were lost, a large proportion of those seats were manned by risers. People like Bunting, Nathan Campbell, and Ian Hales lost what were traditionally strong PNP seats.
In 2020.
in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Golding won the internal election following that.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in 2019 leading into the 2020 election destroyed the PNP, which is why they lost so many seats in that election.
Yes, it left them. It left them divided.
Exactly.
And a divided PNP can't beat a united JLP, and a divided JLP can't beat a united PNP.
Correct.
And we saw that in the 90s when the Labour Party was at war with itself under the leadership of Edward Seaga. And it lost 4 consecutive general elections to the PNP and PJ Patterson.
Good.
Yeah.
So what we see, if you follow the trend from 2007.
Okay, so let me stop it here again. And that is a very important point that I want people to understand. Because during my coverage of this entire election, this is one of the things that I brought up to. That when I'm saying that Mark Golding would not have won the election, and people were talking about, oh, like it's race and it's this and it's that. No, I pointed out the fact that Edward Seaga went through the same thing. Edward Seaga went through worse. What the People's National Party going through right now, the Jamaica Labour Party went through worse than that. Edward Seaga was the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party for 30 years, the opposition leader for 30 years. Edward Seaga was only able to win 2 elections. Just imagine that. Only 2 elections he was able to win, being the leader for 30 years. And I remember, like, as I said, like I knew Edward Seaga personally. I knew Bruce Golding personally also. I knew Portia Simpson at the time personally. I knew Lisa, a lot of people that were involved on both sides, because I was in a hospitality circle where I got to meet these people. Because as much as it's politics, a lot of these people are friends. And that is what I want people to understand, that while we put on our color and say we are Labour and we are JLP and we are cuss each other, tell each other about their mother and stuff like that, these people are having cocktails together, right? So that is one thing that people need to understand. So I was there around that time, and I remember Edward Seaga going through hell. The entire 20 years that Edward Seaga was failing, I was right there. I saw Bruce Golding. Bruce Golding step away. Bruce Golding was upset. Bruce Golding step away and formed the NDP. And people need to remember that. Pantan, I think David Pantan, Lisa Anna's first husband, he was looked at the way how people look at Andrew Holness now. I know people are looking at Damon Crawford and Nigel Clark as like political rising star and the future of Jamaica. That is how people looked at Pantan at the time. David Pantan left the Jamaica Labour Party. As I said, Bruce Golding went and formed the NDM. I think Carl Samuda left. Like, so many people left the party then, and the party was suffering until Edward Seaga came to his senses and realized that, look, I am never going to be able to beat PJ Patterson, because PJ Patterson, the card that Andrew Holness is playing now, PJ Patterson play a worse card than that, because PJ Patterson came in as a black man time now. And I got caught up in that, because as a young man, growing up from a child, and you see Jamaica as a predominantly black country, and you look and you see Michael Manley and you see Edward Seaga, and you get caught up and you say like, oh, we are predominantly black country, and we have these 2 men that don't look like us, and they are calling the shots. So when PJ said black man time now, that's all I needed to vote for PJ, right? So when you see like Andrew Holness come now, and Andrew Holness say, look, like Mark Golding privilege, him not know about the board house, him not know about tax, him not know about robot bus and them something then. A lot of Jamaicans fell for it. So that's why I'm saying that, look, as long as Andrew Holness is running, Mark Golding is never going to be able to beat him. And I honestly believe that. I believe that Damien Crawford, Lisa Anna, I said it from day one, Lisa Anna would have won this election with all the things that Andrew was going through with the Integrity Commission and all of that. The fact that the election was so close with Mark Golin, and Lisa Anna is way more popular than Mark Golin. And people can say like, oh, this is a popularity contest and whatever. Andrew Holness, when Andrew Holness said Clarks and Bro God and all these type of stuff, 1 p.m., that is popularity contest. You know, so people, all I'm saying is that People's National Party supporters, stop getting your feelings and things like when people bring constructive criticism, that mean them a labor right or them not like Mark Golin because him rich or because him white or whatever. It is not like that. So let me make them continue.
When the 2016 elections were relatively close. It was the 2011 election where the PNP regained some kind of significant majority because of what took place in the incursion.
Yes, the Dudos affair.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when we come to 2020's election, it was a sabotage that caused that massive defeat. They would have still lost the election, in my opinion, but the sabotage that took place led to the significant defeat. So fast forward to 2025, what Mr. Golding and his team were able to do was simply recover 14 of the 15 seats that they had lost.
Yes.
It was not, it is not, I don't view it as any great achievement, because if me and you on a team and me mash down the house because me want to rule the team and me say, you Cliff can't run the team, I'm going to get rid of you. And then me get my chance to build back the house and build it better. And all I could do was build it back 95%. Not even go back to where we were, you know. They didn't recover all 15 seats. They won 14. That's nothing to write home about.
Yes.
This election was lost from 2019 when Bunting challenged Peter Phillips. If they had allowed Mr. Phillips to run and supported him, they would have still lost the election, but the PNP would have had enough seats going into 2025, and they would have not had to go through trying to reunite a party that they themselves divided, and they would have been a better opposition under the circumstances. So the history, the historical reality of 2019 continues to dog them, and if they maintain the current leader, it will not go away, because the stench of risers will always be over the PNP.
Interesting point. I think you have. I think you have made an excellent point. In fact.
Yes, so that was my exact point. Mark Golin was there with Bunting. A lot of people hate Mark Golin just because of Bunting. They don't like him because of Bunting. And a lot of the fraction in the party, because remember, you have Lisa Anna delegates, you have Damian Crawford people, you have Bunting people. So the party is split in about 4 different pieces. So I believe that they have to get a new leader, fresh leader, and they have to do it sooner than later and start getting ready for the next election. Because look, the reality is that even though we saw the crime rate went down, which I believe that helped the prime minister to get reelected. The unemployment rate, obviously, that would have helped him also. But at the end of the day, there were still a lot of people out there that wasn't comfortable with everything that was going on with the Integrity Commission. And some of those people probably stay home. Some of those people probably, I don't know if people that were independent said they're not going to vote or they're going to vote for the People's National Party because of that. But the fact that it got that close with Mark Golin, I believe that if it was like a Lisa Anna or Damian Crawford, they would push it over the edge and they would have possibly won this election. And that is just my thought. I know people say like Damian Crawford is like not mature and stuff like that. But you have to understand, like Andrew Holness became mature on the job. When Andrew Holness was placed the first time and them say, call it, Andrew, call it. That was a young, immature Andrew Holness that called the election and played into the People's National Party hand when he lost that election. So Damian Crawford is going to get some experience, or whoever is there. I don't think Bunting is not even an option. Bunting is not even an option. So I don't think Bunting is an option. I don't think Margolin is an option. Isaac Buchanan is new. So I think it's Damian Crawford. I don't know who else right now I can point out to. But I believe that the People's National Party, they're just going to have to go in, like, they probably have to do like one of those like retreat where they go away for like a weekend and just figure out things, and come back bigger and stronger. But to think that Mark Golin is going to beat Andrew Holness in 5 years is laughable, because the thing is, Andrew Holness is a smart politician. Andrew Holness, the next 5 years, I guarantee you, is not going to have any big scandal. Andrew Holness is playing with house money. The debt to GDP rate cut in half. Andrew Holness can spend, and more spend right now. And if 5 years from now, minimum wage is $32,000, if 5 years from now, the crime rate is still down, low unemployment rate, education, we see an improvement in education, there's no way a Mark Golin is going to beat Andrew Holness, which would be even more popular 5 years from now than he is now. So those are just my opinions. So sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Do you think the caller that called in to Cliff Hughes, do you think he had a point? Or you're just going to say, no, like the Labour at them teeth the election? Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.